Tia Kofi, hi.
Hi.
It feels like we barely blinked and Nemo won, and now we're here again.
It
you know what I
happened
mean?
10 minutes ago. Like,
Honestly.
literally, it was yesterday.
It's gone so quickly, but this is my most excited moment of the year because we get to reveal all the songs, like they drip, drip, drip until we get to Basel in May. It's an amazing time, right?
It is. I was thinking drip, drop. Yeah.
Oh yeah, drip, drop.
very
Azerbaijan.
Classic.
Every single thought is a Eurovision reference.
At all times. From you, definitely. From me, sometimes a bit of Drag Race slips in there occasionally, or some Doctor Who, but...
That's a good, like, triangle of pop culture references, to be fair.
Yeah, those are my hyper focuses.
I would say. Listen, you are the first guest on a brand new series of the podcast. I'm very excited. It's your second time here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But what is everyone listening to?
Oh, they're listening to the official Eurovision Song Contest podcast.
Hooray! Hello, you are listening to a brand new series of the official Eurovision Song Contest podcast. My name is Steve, and my first guest is an international drag artiste, a drag race winner, a singer, a podcaster, and also a Eurovision geek. It is Tia Kofi.
Yay! Woo!
Thank you for coming back on the podcast.
No, thank you for having me in your lovely home.
Do you remember when we first met, when you first came on the podcast?
Yes.
It was in Liverpool.
It was in Liverpool, and it was a wonderful experience because you gave me my first ever Backstage Eurovision tour.
I took you behind the curtain.
You did.
Literally.
I saw props, costumes, and Alessandra asleep in her full outfit.
She was. Didn't we see Loreen on an escalator as well? Was that with you?
I think so, yeah.
She had quite a big, like, flurry of people around her, obviously.
Yeah, just nails getting caught in the moving stairs as she was going.
But what was funny, you were just in your face. You weren't in full drag. Can you remember?
Yeah, I do. Just sort of like walking around in full daylight. A period of time where drag should not ever be seen, by the way. But
Is that worse than an overhead light?
I'll have to watch back the footage to answer that question, but possibly.
What was your first impressions of going behind the scenes?
Oh, it was magical. It was like, I think I understand like Disney adults because low-key they freak me out. But like in that moment, I was like, oh, I'm seeing like everything that I dreamt of when I was like 9 or 10 years old and first learnt about the Eurovision Song Contest. So that was my Disneyland, like just seeing like props and costumes and performers and the stage and everything. It was wonderful.
Also, for anyone listening who thinks that that day was particularly glamorous, I remember us doing the interview literally in the corner of a canteen.
Yes.
While everyone just went in the tradesman entrance next to us.
Yeah, it was very confusing. I think just a few people were sort of like walking in and out to get a jacket potato.
They were, yeah.
Just some of the contestants.
Yes, they were. There was a little van outside. Honestly, but an experience. It was lovely to meet you then, and we've stayed in contact since because you've been part of the Eurovision world.
I truly have. Also, for anyone who is listening, I would like to point out that I am in full drag. I am
true.
Wigged. There's a heel on and everything.
Would you like to describe what you have come as today?
Well, I thought I'd come in a relevant sort of theme. So I'm wearing a sort of Union Jack inspired motorcycle jacket.
Yeah, it's almost deconstructed.
It is a deconstructed Union Jack, and I will also flag it is vegan leather. Don't worry. Sustainable.
Is this like, are you slowly going back to the drip, drip motif? Is this your literal drip, drip that one day you will represent the UK at Eurovision?
That drip, drop, drip, drop.
Drip, drop, drip, drop.
Whoa,
All the way.
whoa. Yeah, I say dream. It is a dream that I've always had that never felt like a realistic possibility. But at this point in my life, it seems ridiculous that I haven't been asked to do it, which is wild.
Have you tried, though?
No, not to my knowledge. I feel like I don't really understand the process of the selections that they've previously made and how it's happened. Like Sam Ryder, iconic, total sense, big TikTok following, all of that kind of thing. So that I wasn't like miffed. But at some point, I would love to represent the United Kingdom at Eurovision.
You have to be pushy.
I do.
Because you've got a pop career. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, the material is there. You've got the basis. You know Eurovision. You know how to sell a performance. Surely it's a no-brainer one day.
I mean, at some point, I can picture it just like fully staged, drag performers giving it the choreography and everything. We get Tamara Thomas back because she's already been on the Eurovision stage, giving it a high kick.
Yeah, she was in Liverpool.
Yes.
Yes, amazing.
Absolutely. As I was also offended that I believe it was Mercedes-Benz who was Alicia Dixon, because I've been calling myself the Alicia Dixon of drag for many, many years.
Wait, Tamara Thomas who was Tamara Thomas? Who did she come out the toaster as?
Is it Yulia? Was that her name?
Yulia, yeah. From the Ukrainian band.
Yes.
The other thing is you don't have to represent the UK.
Listen, San Marino.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Iconic. I'm obsessed with San Marino.
Me too.
I'm obsessed. What is the name? Valentina.
Yes.
Apparently she runs a B&B.
I didn't know that.
An Airbnb in San Marino.
She is a 4-time Eurovision participant. 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years on the bounce. She qualified once. And this is going back a little bit now, but her social network song is iconic.
Originally the Facebook song, later renamed the social network
because
song.
You're not allowed any official names in Eurovision. But it didn't qualify, sadly.
No.
So anyway, you don't... What
What
were the lyrics like? Gonna like you on your face, gonna press... I can't remember.
It was something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So San Marino... What do you think? The new Valentina?
Listen, it could happen. I have a lot of respect for San Marino for really trying, wheeling out Flow Rider one year.
That was incredible.
A particular stop, drop, roll, a particular highlight for me. Just Flow Rider popping up. I'm not sure Flow Rider knew what was happening.
Well, I can tell you, I interviewed Flow Rider on a Zoom and I had to wait, I think about 5 hours for the interview because they kept on pushing it back. And then when I did talk to him, he was very enthusiastic about performing at Eurovision, but he had no clue what he was getting himself into at all.
I think it might have been sold to him by saying, oh yes, Justin Timberlake. Was it Madonna 1 year? No, who was it?
And Madonna performed at Eurovision, yes.
Like all these icons, Flow Rider, why don't you do it? Not fully informed that he wasn't the interval act. He was in fact representing San Marino.
He was a representative with Sunit. It qualified still, Adrenalina. Love it.
I love it. And she once performed in the back room of the Two Brewers.
Which for anyone that doesn't know the Two Brewers, an iconic queer bar in London.
Yes.
Your second home.
It is very much my second home. And it was just wonderful to have her there as part of, I think she did a sort of European tour. And one of her stopovers was the Two Brewers in Clapham.
Did you have a little chat?
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't get to talk to her.
Oh.
I was too much of a fangirl, to be honest.
Well, also, Sunit is a bit of a diva as well. So, you know, it's very, like, in a good way.
Do we have to say allegedly?
No, because it's a diva in a good way. Just, you know, she carries herself like the true diva that she is.
She has a certain poise, a certain quality.
Yes.
She's a queen.
She is.
Bury that.
It's who we love.
Yeah, bring her back. Actually, take my name off the list, San Marino. Bring her back. And pop her with another US rap star.
No, Sunit featuring Tia. This is going to happen maybe. Anyway, there are options for you.
There are. We've got a list together.
We have. But for the time being, you are a part of the Eurovision family because you were working there for us last year.
I was indeed.
You did the turquoise carpet with Electra, a Swedish drag legend.
She is.
How was it?
It was wonderful. I was very excited about it. But it was like really wonderful talking to all of the acts and getting to know them and receiving some gifts. I got a gift from Ukraine that year.
What did you get?
A sort of like bread basket.
With real bread in?
I think it was bread or cake.
Okay.
It was a Ukrainian tradition, but it was very lovely. And they were actually one of my favourites last year.
They are fantastic, the two of them. I saw them in November and I love their partnership and their relationship with each other. You can tell they enjoy hanging out.
Yeah.
Much like me and you.
Yeah, very much. Maybe we should represent San Marino. No, very much. And the song and the staging for them last year was absolutely epic. It was beautiful.
Who else did you vibe with?
What, as people or musically?
Well, maybe both. So vibing with as people first.
Well, I mean, Bambi,
Yeah.
of course. Bambi and I get on very well. I think because they've got a similar energy to me, which is calm. Well, or at least trying to be calm. It's like paddling on the surface while the legs are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour underneath. So I think we sort of like vibe on that front. And I think they brought something so different to Eurovision last year, especially for Ireland, that sort of goth rock plus ballet staging was wonderful.
It was amazing. I spoke to Bambi in November at Het Grote Song Festival Feest, which you were at as well in the Netherlands.
Another string to my bow.
Honestly, they are endless. And I was saying that every year somebody has the journey where before the contest, before the pre-parties, people not necessarily dismiss that country, but they think that's never going to win. It's not on my radar. And then as the months go on and people see them live, and then we get to Eurovision and we start seeing what it looks like, suddenly the buzz gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden people are saying, this is one of the best things I've ever seen on the Eurovision stage, which arguably it was.
Oh, absolutely. And that journey for me the year before was with the Polish entry. And a lot of people don't agree with me on that. But baby. That for me should have won, to be honest.
What was amazing about her was when we did the turquoise carpet that year. Did you see the pictures of the train on her dress? So it was, I want to say it was green, but I can't remember. But in massive letters on the bottom of the train was baby.
Because she knew.
She knew.
She knew what her TikTok moment was. And every single morning we were in Liverpool, I got up, stood up from the bed, showed my outfit on my Instagram and just went, baby. And that was about 10 different Instagram posts. I was obsessed.
I feel like enough time has passed now where baby can make a comeback, right? Or was it a moment in time?
I think some things are better left to their moment. But I do think it is the kind of song that could become like a future viral TikTok trend.
Yes. She's got it in her back pocket forever. But you were mentioning Electra. So had you met Electra before the turquoise carpet?
I hadn't, but I had seen her because I believe that was the year after she'd been on Melodifestivalen.
Yes.
So I had seen her and I was like, not another drag queen internationally living my dream. How dare.
Instant rival.
Instant rival. But then having seen her in person, I think we've got very much a similar sense of humour, because of course her songs are in Swedish, so I didn't necessarily understand the humour behind it, but she sort of explained to me the English equivalents and the comedy that was there. So I was like, okay, I get you.
Okay.
I'm obsessed.
Who's taller?
Oh, me.
Oh, you.
I'm 6'5" out of drag.
No one is taller than you, right?
Baron Trump.
Baron Trump is tall, yes. He's about 6'7".
Yeah. Do you mean no one in drag?
Well, I was going to say in drag.
Well, Baron Trump in drag would be taller than me.
Yes, that would be 6'9" at least.
Yeah, something. And a 2-inch heel? Absolutely not.
I see. This is proof that I've never been in drag. A 2-inch heel. What do the heels have to be minimum for a drag queen?
You can wear whatever you want. All drag is valid. But for me personally,
yes,
good
Oh yes,
4 inches are lazy.
my sizing is all over the place.
Please, can we take this clip out of context?
Just for clarification, Tia's red heels right now are about 4 inches and are wonderful. There we go.
I'd say 5.
5, perfect. So anyway, you were dominating the turquoise carpet. Talking to everybody, and I'm trying to think if any of the participants were taller than you, but I don't think they were.
No, I don't think they were. Turquoise carpet, I was calling it the turquoise rug.
Did you get on with Nemo?
Love Nemo. They've just got such a good, kind, genuine energy, and that was really wonderful to be around.
A worthy winner, I would argue, of the Eurovision Song Contest.
Absolutely. If not just a winner also very much felt like the miscongeniality of the event. So it was really lovely to see someone that had shown that warmth and that kindness to people take the crown. And also my 10-year-old nephew is obsessed. His first ever concert that he is going to, which I believe was his Christmas present. Need to check with my sister whether or not my nephew can listen to this because it might be his birthday present. But his first ever concert is going to be Nemo's show in London.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Has he got the bucket hat to take to the concert?
I will get him a bucket hat to take to the concert.
Also, I can imagine if you're 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, I loved an adventure playground. I don't know if anybody else did. But Nemo's performance is like an adventure playground on that spinny thing.
After this, I'll show you the video of my nephew in an adventure playground performing not just a chorus, the entirety of the code. Yep. On like just saw a big round spinny plate and was like, well, now's my chance. And made, I think his mum, my sister, film the entire 3 minutes performing, including the opera.
I feel Nemo needs to see this as well.
Nemo has seen.
Oh, really?
I have shown Nemo.
And what did Nemo say?
Adorable, but apparently not the first. There are loads of kids who sort of like get on a roundabout or some sort of rotating plate and sing the code. So
I think that is, again, proof. I remember seeing that for the first time in rehearsal and just being wowed. At Eurovision, if you're going to win, you have to do something so spectacular. It doesn't necessarily need to be fireworks, but it just needs to be something that almost takes your breath away.
Absolutely. I think sometimes people are overzealous with the staging, and what we've seen from like at least the last few years is that like something that's like a set piece plus some very interesting lighting and camera work is gonna clinch that trophy.
Because I guarantee that you have thought about this. What would a Tia Kofi Eurovision performance look like?
Well, it depends on the song, but I have thought at length about it. I thought very much about I have a song called Movie, which I think would be a lovely Eurovision entry. Too late now, because obviously it was released before September of the previous year. Yeah.
Invalid.
Yeah. But I thought it'd be really nice to do that as like sort of like moving images, but like also like on a treadmill, like a couple walking and like set pieces like that. Because we need to bring back the treadmill. I haven't seen a treadmill at Eurovision for a good few years.
I can't remember the name of the guy, the Swedish guy, who people listening will be going, it's him. But he did the best treadmill choreography.
Yeah.
Do you remember? There was him and 4 dancers. I can't go on.
Yeah.
I can't go on. That was the song.
Too much eyes to the camera, though.
But he had the face for it. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go for generically handsome.
Blansome.
Yeah, very that. But it just felt a little bit like a James Bond parody.
Okay.
The way he looked at the camera. Loved the song, though. Dima Bilan also had an incident with a treadmill. Do you remember getting tangled up?
Yes, but that was the year after, wasn't it? I think when he came back because he'd won the previous year.
But victory performance.
He got very tangled up. That's a viral moment.
Yeah, love
Eurovision
that.
Song Contest. You could argue that the hamster wheel was a treadmill of sorts for Ukraine.
A fully circular treadmill, in a way. Yes.
So you would bring back the treadmill for your performance?
Yeah, I'm not going to be on the treadmill, but I would like there to be some sort of moving belt for someone to walk on.
So you'd have dancers?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I would have drag kings and queens and any other kind of drag performer involved in the staging, or whether that's in the video or like as dancers. I just want it to feel like a party.
But nothing to take the shine off of you in front, so they can't be more fabulous than you.
Well, I mean, very few are. As one of the only UK winners, it would be hard to come by a drag performer who is more fabulous than I. Now that was pretend, because I'm actually very insecure. So there are quite a lot of wonderful drag performers who are more fabulous than me. I think I just want to share it with people. I don't think I'd be that bothered if someone had a better wig or a better makeup. It'd just be nice to sort of like have that kind of representation on stage.
For the record, I think you, Tia, would be fabulous at Eurovision. And I'm not just saying that because you're sat in front of me. I think, it would be great. You get it. You get Eurovision. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think it would just be a lot of fun. Now, when the cameras go on and I am performing in front of millions across the world, whether or not I have a full-on breakdown is a different question.
No, you've got the metal for it. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
In there. Stay right there. We're going to talk Drag Race, and I have another quiz for you coming up.
Oh, anxiety.
Welcome back to the official Eurovision Song Contest podcast with Tia Kofi. Do you like the new music?
I love it. It's very epic.
It wants to give winner.
I feel like I just won Eurovision.
Exactly.
Listening to that.
It's preempting you in several years' time, maybe.
Yes. This is called foreshadowing. Yep.
Foreshadowing your own destiny.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I wanted to find out a bit about you and Eurovision. Like, what was the first contest you remember watching?
Ooh, interesting. I distinctly remember 1998, Imani, Where Are You Now? Because I committed very strongly to creating my own, I think I was about 7, committing my own, wait, no, maybe I was 8. I don't know what made up age my Wikipedia says. One of those two. But I remember like creating my own like staging like on the stairs of my family home and like belting the song out and like pretending I was like crawling through the desert and all of that kind of stuff. And then my sister caught me and I was very embarrassed, but she did say that I sounded very good. But yeah, that was like my first exposure to Eurovision that I remember. I think I remember Love Shine a Light winning the year before. But I can't tell if that's like a memory that I've like imprinted on myself.
Yeah,
after
or
the fact.
I remember some of the earliest Eurovisions I remember. Like, I just remember kind of walking into the lounge with my mum and dad and it was on the TV and I don't really remember it, but I was aware of it.
Yeah.
But Imani, Where Are You? What an amazing song.
Oh, incredible.
She's still performing as well.
Her voice, I once tried to book her for an event that I was doing. She was too expensive, so I didn't. But like, she's just absolutely incredible. I also, what year was it Maria N? I wanna be the sunshine in your hat.
Latvia, that was 2002.
Oh, very vivid, fond memories of that performance. I think that was the first Eurovision where I was like, I really wanted her to win. Like, I was committed to like somewhere outside of the United Kingdom winning, because I think when I was very young I was like, I want us to win, but that was the first year I was like, no, come on Latvia, you've got it, you're the best one.
It was a nice bit of like gender role play in the costumes, wasn't it, as well, and what she wore.
Is Maria from Latvia responsible for me doing drag?
Potentially, maybe if that was a little core memory as well, maybe it planted a seed.
No, it really is actually a core memory. God, okay, I'm gonna have to like do some regression therapy or something.
You know what? Like, we've had a lot of winners on the podcast, and some
future
winners,
winners,
and future winners. Some you see all the time because they do the rounds. But Marianne, I not really heard of her. Like, I don't know where she is now. I don't know what she's doing.
I imagine just living her life, like having a good time.
Hopefully, now that Latvia, they qualified again last year. They had the longest non-qualifying streak for years. They weren't in the grand final. Now they're back in the fold.
Yeah.
Via Dons and Hollow. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see a Latvian Eurovision resurgence.
Do you know, fun fact about that song?
Hollow?
Yeah.
Go for it.
One of the writers also wrote my song Read My Lips. That was not me plugging anything. I don't need to, because you've literally put the vinyls in the background there.
Yes, it is there.
But yeah, and like he told me that on the turquoise carpet, and I was like,
what, did he know that?
No, the writer was with her.
Okay.
And the writer just told me, and they were like, cool. And I was like, I didn't know that. We've never met. I just thought my friend Eden wrote that song. Cool.
So you thought, like, you didn't even know there was another ghostwriter on the track, and it was this man who knows Dons.
No, honestly, yes, that is very true. And I have just outed myself as not writing a single word of that song.
But another connection to Eurovision.
Yeah, and an unexpected one as well.
What is a Eurovision song that you have never got bored of?
Weirdly, immediately come to mind Emily de Forest, Only Teardrops.
Oh, love Emily.
Love that song. I sing it all the time. I wish I could like perform it on stage, but there's a certain energy that she has that I don't have. I think you can only sing that song if you have like a wood nymph quality, like a spirit from the forest.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that. Being a thunderous 6'5" man, like I just don't have that softness.
You don't have like tree nymph energy.
No,
hidden away.
I am the tree, and she is the nymph.
Well, there we go. Next time you see her, have you met her?
I have. I actually flew her over from Denmark to perform at a Eurovision viewing party that I set up myself in London, co-hosted by Something Wong. We did make a loss on that. We didn't sell enough tickets, but it was worth it because she watched us lip sync Only Teardrops in front of her. And I won the lip sync because I started on the floor, took off my shoes, and basically did exactly her performance.
I feel like you've just told me a lot of information in all one go that I need to unpack bit by bit. Number one, fair play for putting on a Eurovision night.
Thank
for
you.
A start. Number two, flying over Emily de Forest.
Yeah.
Did she say yes on your first email?
She did actually.
Amazing.
Because she wanted to be in London anyway. So basically I was covering her flights that she would have had to book anyhow. The year before we had Joe and Jake.
Okay.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
They love a vodka Coke. Yeah, they were really lovely. We had a good time. They did You're Not Alone. And then Emily did Only Teardrops as well.
So did you do the lip sync before she did her performance?
No, it was after. So we let her do her one, which I still have, and it's got like a special intro on the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So secretly one day I'm going to perform it and just not tell Emily de Forest that I've stolen her instrumental. But yeah, she did that, and then me and Something performed the lip sync. We did not know that she was not in the room at the time. She actually went to pee, so we had to do it twice.
Well, so that evening, the crowd heard Only Teardrops 3 times.
Yeah, which for me, not enough times.
Because it's so brilliant a winner.
It is actually, it's such a good song.
Did you recoup your losses from your Eurovision night?
No. So weirdly, which makes zero sense, the Joe and Jake Eurovision screening that we did the year before, very profitable. So I was like, let's go for it. Let's book a winner. We'll do flights. We'll do hotels. We can do it from the budget. Did not sell as many tickets, which is bizarre. But justice for Emily, Only Teardrops is an underrated Eurovision winner. I feel like people are all like, Euphoria this, Euphoria that. And also same, obviously. I'm not a fool. But Only Teardrops, absolute banger. Emotions.
It's a beautiful song, and how many years old? 12 years old this year, you know?
Yeah.
2013. Did you do a Eurovision night the year after?
Did I do a Eurovision night the year after? No.
Or was that the end of it?
No, I think Something was cast on Drag Race, so we didn't do one that year.
So this would have been like 2018, around that time?
Yeah. Maybe it was 2015, 2016. So now I'm like, why didn't we do one in 2017?
I think there's like Eurovision to every year of your life.
Yeah.
I love it.
I even did a fundraiser for a musical that I was doing called Saucy Jack and the Space Vixens, called Eurovixens. I also, during COVID, why am I telling you my life story? I also, during COVID, made drag queens record themselves performing Eurovision songs and did the Eurovision Drag Contest online, which I hosted live from my own living room with Pixie Polite in front of a piece of green material.
Wait, this is pre-Drag Race. This is in COVID.
Yeah. It was in the break from filming season 2.
Break, yes. So who did lip syncs for you? And what songs were they?
It was a mixture of lip syncing and live songs. I also had Woe Adams, the third member of my girl group, the Vixens, as like a social media correspondent in her own home. So via satellite link up, her own home where the show was being mixed from. So I had I was on the phone to her boyfriend with a headphone in my ear, like an earpiece. I'm pretty impressed with my own ingenuity. We had like, do you know Holly Stars?
No, I don't.
She did Ooh Ah just a little bit.
Okay.
She made a plate of chips as part of it. We had Rose Garden performing, I I think maybe Puppet on a String in the middle of a road, which I don't recommend for health and safety reasons. The artist, formerly known as Poppy Cock, now known as Ember, performed Rise Like a Phoenix and did really well. But our winner was Jade Justine doing Love Shine a Light in a full shot-for-shot recreation of the music video in a farm near her house where her mother, in drag, played the drummer. It was wild.
This is amazing. I had no idea that this happened.
Yeah.
Honestly, when we talk about manifesting, this is literally what you have been doing for your whole life.
For sure. There was a live televote. I am sorry. I'm literally a wonderful person. There was a live televote.
With a delay?
No, it was pretty on time, actually. So call me up if you need some hints. There was a live televote. People gave the scores, and we had a jury who issued their individual scores, which featured the likes of Jade Ewan.
Oh my goodness.
Jazz Sampson.
You got
Yeah, Cary Grant. Who else was like a judge on it? Quite a lot of like iconic
How
references.
much prep went into this?
I would say a good week and a half. So I feel like if anyone needed someone to stage a full Eurovision contest, I could probably do it in a month.
This is absolutely brilliant because obviously that year there was no Eurovision Song Contest. It was cancelled because of COVID. This was the perfect substitute.
Well, you can still watch it online, I think on Facebook.
Was it Facebook Live?
It was Facebook Live, and then it was on YouTube, but the YouTube started failing.
Oh, no.
So Something Wong started streaming it from her YouTube. So for some reason, her YouTube channel, even though she had nothing to do with the planning or preparation, she has put ads on it. Which, good luck to you. Have the profit, my love.
She monetized your baby. Basically.
Yeah, she was a contestant, though.
Oh, okay. What
Yeah.
did Something Wong do?
Is it Aminata?
Yes, Latvia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Latvia. Big Latvian fans here.
I didn't think we'd be speaking so much about Latvia today, but here we are.
In my heart, I did, somehow. I did.
It all began with Marianne.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Love.
Talking about lip syncs and your time on Drag Race, you got to lip sync to a Eurovision song. You did Euphoria.
Yeah, call a spade a spade. I lost a lip sync to Euphoria.
Well, I was going to say, Hannah Conda, who you went up against, she was very much in the ether of Loreen, wasn't she, in terms of what she looked like? But I would argue that you knew it better than her.
I would agree. I did a lot of things in that lip sync, so I'd like to talk you through my thought process.
Please.
I had a full plan for what I was going to do for that lip sync. At that point in the competition, I'm not someone who is necessarily the most self-assured person, so I'd only brought 3 potential lip sync outfits with me, because on this season you lip sync if you do well.
Yes.
And I knew there were only 7 competitive episodes, so I bought 3 lip sync outfits with me. This was my 4th time. I didn't expect it. So I was wearing what I like to call a backup option. So already not in my best spirits. And then I had a whole plan for what I was going to do. I knew what I was going to do. Do you remember when Loreen, after she'd won, came back and performed Euphoria with the choir, and there was like some sign language and things, which if you watch it back, I was doing a bit of the signing. Thank you. But I suddenly realised nothing matters anymore. I'm already in the final. Who cares about a badge? No one actually cares about a badge. So I decided to pay homage to my fallen queens by pulling out an item that represented them. In my head, it was matching the song by creating this beautiful moment of nostalgia where I was giving these references to people who had worked so hard to be there.
Your thought process.
Watching it back, I was just pulling out a pair of pants that belonged to Theresa May, and I looked ridiculous. But in my mind, it was just gorgeous. And I was wrong, and that's okay.
But what I was going to say, you must have been so gutted that your backup option was to one of your favourite songs of all time. Finally, you got to lip sync to a Eurovision song.
I know. I wish it had been like a Eurovision song that really no one would have known. So they'd have struggled to sort of like know it. Like more of a niche, like
Marianne.
very that. The Balkan Girls, perhaps.
Drip, 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 drop.
Very that. I have I used to listen to that song in my car with my friends and we came up with choreography. Enough about that.
Just pausing 1 second, because wasn't the choreographer for Drip Drop, wasn't it Beyonce's choreographer?
Maybe.
I believe, something like that. Anyway, I digress.
Who? We must find out.
Yeah, I'll find out for later.
Let's get Beyonce to Eurovision.
But honestly, there's a connection to Beyonce with Drip Drop, I think.
Okay, interesting.
But anyway, going back to the lip sync. So you got to do Euphoria.
I did.
So at least you still got to do that lip sync on stage, even though you didn't win.
I mean, there was that. It was just that lip sync for me was the realization that no matter what I do, RuPaul thinks I'm really funny. Because I think I'd done like 3 other lip syncs that season. Only one of them was meant to be comedy. The other 2, I thought I was being very sincere, very genuine, very humble, telling a story. No, the woman's in hysterics over there. Just something about my face Ru finds very amusing.
And congratulations for winning the series. Amazing.
Thank you. Thanks.
A UK winner.
Yeah. Who saw that
internationally. I don't want to trigger anything, but do we mention Banana Drama?
We can indeed mention Banana Drama.
Because Banana Drama was the Eurovision challenge on Drag Race season 2.
Yep.
When the remaining queens got split into 2 groups, 4 on each. Mm-hmm. And it was, you did a Eurovision song, an original one, but you didn't win. Sadly.
No, I was actually in the bottom 2 that episode, despite having the best verse in my group and doing all of the choreography for people who weren't able to do it. And also rewriting a bit of Ellie's verse, writing half of Joe's verse. Sister was fine.
The podcast is not going to turn now because I've mentioned this.
No, this is now a therapy session.
But honestly, do you sometimes look at the United King dolls who are Lawrence and Tace and think that could have been me?
No, it would never have been me, and I'll tell you for why. It's a Eurovision-themed challenge where the chorus goes, bing, bang, bong, sing, sang, song. So never once did it occur to me to do Pussycat Dolls-esque choreography and jump into a split from a chair. I thought, this is very silly, isn't it? Let's just be silly. And I stand by that. I think Ru's decision was wrong.
It is amazing, though, that on both series of Drag Race you've been on, there's been Eurovision challenges. It's like, it was tailored for you.
Yeah, well, let's not say that because it'll start the Marina fans up again. I think I've been very fortunate to be able to participate in things that I very much enjoy. But I think Eurovision is an important reference that should be made on more seasons of Drag Race.
I completely agree. Who do you think out of your wonderful Drag Race friends would be amazing at Eurovision, aside from yourself?
Well, if you're saying Drag Race friends, that limits it to about 2 people. Do you just mean Drag Race contestants?
Go for that.
Okay, wonderful. Who would be amazing at Eurovision out of, like, Drag Race people? I'm going to be, like, so honest, and it probably shoots myself in the foot a little bit, but I think Bimini would be great.
Yeah.
Like something a little bit like punky, like a Bambi-esque sort of like shouty moment. I think like a Prodigy-esque. I can see fire, I can see flames, I can see a cowboy hat.
Because Bimini does music.
Very much so.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Have you told them this?
I've not spoken to BIM directly about how I think they would be very good for Eurovision, as don't want to give them any ideas because I want to do it. But yeah, no, I think if it can't be me, then I would like it to be Bimini. Okay,
that's the succession line, basically.
Yeah.
Queen Tia.
Then BIM.
And then BIM.
And then I can't think of a third option of UK divas who I would think would be very good at Eurovision. My mind has gone a little blank.
No, that's fine. Well, I hope it's not gone too blank because we're going to do you a quiz.
Oh, good.
How are you feeling about this?
I feel like you really got my juices flowing with the vitriol towards being in the bottom 2 in that challenge. So now I'm ready to fight.
The reason I'm doing you a quiz is because we did a quiz last time and you were so good. Like, you really impressed me with your Eurovision knowledge. Yeah. So I wanted to try and make it a little bit harder.
Oh, gosh. Well, that was beginner's luck last time. And now I'm going to absolutely flop, but we'll see.
But honestly, speaking to people, I've told them that you know more about Eurovision than so many people I know. You know more about Eurovision, arguably, than I do, because you've already done references that have gone over my head. So
I don't think that's true. I think you've really built me up to let me fall.
Well, here we go. Let's see, shall we? 5 questions.
Yep.
Question 1. Which singer competed as part of a duo in 2015 and then returned as a solo artist in Liverpool in 2023?
Which singer competed as part of a duo in 2015 is a bit of a blank spot for me because I was busy running Eurovision viewing parties, so I wasn't really watching the show. Who was in 2015
and then returned as a solo artist in Liverpool in 2023? Because very few people have done this.
Liverpool in 2023. Hold on.
Do you know what? The answer is down there.
Right. Thank you.
So currently Tia is picking up my vinyl copy of the 2023 contest.
Yeah.
And is currently scanning.
I am.
This is you're using a hint, which I'll allow.
Listen, you didn't say I couldn't phone a friend, so I picked up a vinyl record. I don't know, because like most of the solo artists feel like they were too young to be. Like Remo was probably 3 in 2015.
He probably was.
So just for reasons, no shade, just for reasons of age, and also because I stopped reading after column 1 because I was bored, I'm going to say Gustav.
It is a good guess, but it is not right. It is...
Can I read column 2 and back again?
Go on, you can have one more guess.
No, I'm again, somehow reading is quite boring to me. I can't pick it out. Let's go for...
It's a female singer. I'm going to give you that clue.
Interesting. Well, Alessandra was too young. Maybe... why not? Maybe it was Blanca.
Incorrect. It was Monika Linkita from Lithuania.
Oh.
And I do have, actually, her vinyl somewhere here.
The hints were everywhere.
They were. Look, there she is.
Oh.
Monika Linkita.
That's very precious.
Yes, and the song was called Stage. Chuto Tuto, remember?
I do remember.
Question 2. Apart from Ukraine, who've qualified for every single final.
Oh, no. I'm going to get no points.
Which country has the next longest streak of qualifying for the final?
Oh, well, I'm going to say the United Kingdom because of how you phrased your question.
Oh, Tia! Right, okay. I'm going to... I can't deny it. Like, I can't deny it. I'm going to reframe the question. So aside from the automatic qualifiers, who are the Big Five and the host nation, which country has the longest qualifying streak of getting from the semi-final to the final?
Oh, who's got the longest qualifying streak? I mean, it must be one of the ones who always do really well or who have the most wins, I guess, because they're good at it. And it's not Ireland, because I think Dustin the Turkey did not qualify.
No, he didn't.
I'm gonna just be like really like bold and strong and say Sweden.
It is correct. They have qualified every year since 2011. 2010 was the last time they didn't qualify.
Oh my gosh, who was that?
Anna Bergendahl with This Is My Life. Oh. It was. I think that was a national travesty in Sweden. I think everyone went into mourning for a year. Followed by Norway and then Serbia. So
I would never have guessed Serbia.
So on the flip side, who has the longest non-qualifying streak? So it was Latvia until Dons last year.
Oh.
But who now hasn't qualified for the final since, I'll tell you the last time they did, 2019. So they haven't qualified for 6 years.
That's difficult. And it's someone who has participated in all 6 of those years?
Yes. They have participated every single year.
That's really difficult. I am very aware this is a podcast, so I'm trying to continue to talk while I think.
Otherwise, we can edit, it's fine.
We'd just be sat in silence.
Shall I give you a clue?
Okay.
Fly on the wings.
Denmark.
Correct. It is Denmark.
Fly. That is 2000, right?
That was 2000, yeah.
I don't know why, but I have this like weird association, and maybe it's just how my brain works. But like that is when I think of like the turn of the millennium, because I think that was the first winner in 2000. That's the song that when I'm like, if someone's like, oh, remember the Millennium Bug? My brain goes, fly on the wings of weird.
I love, but that's how my brain works. My brain works in Eurovision, so does yours. Yeah, honestly, literally.
It really does.
Arguably, they did in 2020 for the cancelled contest, they had a song called Say Yes, which I was obsessed with, but it never made it through. But I think that would have qualified.
Okay.
Anyway, question 4. Emil Ransauer performed for Switzerland in 2013. What Eurovision record does he hold? Emil Ransauer performed for Switzerland in 2013 as part of a band. The band was called Takasa.
Okay.
What Eurovision record does he hold?
What Eurovision record does he hold? Right, so you could have like the most, like 12 points, or you could have written the most Eurovision songs, or you could have, maybe, because you said it was with a band.
Yeah, he performed the double bass, I think, as part of the band.
I'm going to say he has performed the most times on the Eurovision stage, maybe as part of different groups or bands.
It's not. Unfortunately, do you want me to tell you, or do you want another guess?
No, I'd like you to tell me, please.
He is the oldest ever competitor on the Eurovision stage.
I can see it now.
Do you know how? Have a guess at how old he was when he performed.
Wow,
this is unbelievable.
Okay, it's unbelievable. You've just it up there. So 230. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna say Russian grandmas though. I'm gonna say 87.
He was 95.
That's Windows 95.
He was 95 years old.
That's wild,
isn't it?
Good for him.
Emil Ransauer. I feel not enough people know about him, you know?
I think more people should know about him. I have no plans to make it to 95, but like, good for him.
Question 5, the last one. So you've got Sweden and you've got Denmark. So you've got 2 out of 4 so far.
Okay.
How many languages have Switzerland, who are the host nation this year, how many languages have Switzerland sung in at Eurovision? Remembering they have been in since the very beginning in 1956.
So, they will have sung in English.
Correct.
They will have sung in French.
Correct.
They may have sung in Swiss German.
Correct.
They may have sung in the other Swiss language that isn't Flemish. What's it called? In Swiss.
You are on the right lines. Do you mean Romansh?
Yes, very her.
Yes. Very
she, her. That's 4. And then, like, is it like the whole song or is it parts of a song?
There was a whole song in this language.
I'm going to go rogue and say they might have sung in Italian.
Is that your final answer?
No, because you're looking at me like I've done it wrong. All right. It's one of the two. 50-50, phone a friend. I'm going to say Italian.
Correct. It is 5. You've got them.
Okay.
I'm really impressed that you got Romansh. You knew there was another language in Switzerland.
I did bad Romansh. I did... But I'm so impressed. Couldn't remember the name.
I'm so impressed. So you got 3 out of 5, so it was more than 50%. Well done.
Thank you.
How'd you feel?
I feel like 60% is not great, but
Do you feel Drag Race Season 2?
No, I feel like actually, do you know what? Thanks for that. 60% is good because I've won 50% of the seasons of Drag Race that I've been. So 60% is better than that.
There we go. We'll take that.
Yeah.
And we'll run with it.
We're improving.
Amazing. Tia, thank you so much for being the first guest on season 4. Honestly, I love chatting to you because you just get it. You just get it.
The girls who get it, get it.
Honestly. And please, just keep on adding more Eurovision strings to your bow. And like I said, be pushy.
I will. I think they should have me back for the turquoise carpet.
And when San Marino do their national selection, we won't be surprised if you just pop up there, right, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think my new dream is to deliver the scores.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. You will be doing the scores, I'm sure, at some point. If not for the UK, for another country. But
San Marino, hit me up.
there we go. They have a very small population. Their pool of potentials.
They've all already done it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They need somebody. Tia, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you again this Eurovision season. Going to find out all the songs, and we've got weekly episodes now. I'll be chatting to everybody who is participating this year, as well as some surprise guests. Listen everywhere you can, subscribe. We will be back very soon. But Tia, ciao for now.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, bye.